USCFootball.com, I'm Keely Eure here with Chris Treviño for instant analysis of USC's 10th practice of spring camp. Now, this practice was originally scheduled on Tuesday, but the football team elected to postpone it in light of the verdict reached in the murder trial of George Floyd. Now, Chris, it's been a couple days since we saw USC in the Coliseum for its spring game. What were your overall takeaways from this practice?
First of all, I just want to shout out myself, my instant analysis practice debut.
Yes.
This is for all 7 of my fans. But there's a lot of changes. It felt like, obviously, we've been used to all this beautiful weather. It was very overcast, chilly. It was on a
Still
Wednesday.
is overcast.
Still overcast and chilly. A lot of changes. We didn't see the normal format of practice that we're used to with the 7-on-7s and the 1-on-1s, all that. Normal team periods, they were a little bit different today. And then, obviously, we had a lot of the mixing and matching with the O-line, something we've been promised, and we finally got today. And then I thought the offense had a really good day overall. Clay Helton's vocal cords, we're going to talk about that later. They stood out to me, and then the running backs were part of powering that offense to a really good day today.
Yeah, it's almost a little sad that Shotgun's not here because we've been talking about left tackle watch all spring, and we finally did see some variation, some shuffling. It was new, at least 3 new configurations on the offensive line. Now, we did see new configurations in the spring game, but that's because USC drafted the teams for Team Cardinal and Team Gold. But this was a full new set of lines that we saw today.
I felt like the coaches were tired of us asking about when they were going to see some O-line switching. They were like, we're just give them all today. They probably had a scout out there saying, like, Shotgun's not here today. Today is the day. Break open the break in case of emergency. Shotgun's not here. Let's do it. So, yes, a lot of new changes. On that right side mainly, it felt like, because you had Jonah Monheim working at the right tackle, Justin Dietich working at the right guard. Normally we've seen him at the left guard, so they kicked him out there. And then the rest of the normal first team was pretty much the same with Brett Nealon at center, Andrew Voorhees at left guard, and then Cortland Ford at that left tackle spot. And it's also curious, would it look any different if Casey Collier had been there? As you know, he is still out because of the COVID-19 protocols. He has to go in that quarantine period since he was out of state. So would that have changed things? Would Casey have gotten some looks at right tackle, maybe a little bit more first-team reps over Ford? Yeah. I don't know, but it looked like they were really looking at that right side today.
Mm-hmm. And what did you take away from that new right side?
I thought it looked kind of nice. I'm not going to lie. I think there's something to be said about having 2 centers on your line, because those guys are the smartest guys on the offensive line. They're the ones that have to know they're very cerebral. They have to know everything on the line. And I think some of the issues have been communication on that right side. So what way to shore that up than put one of your smartest players in that guard spot that can help the tackle, help identify, having 2 centers, 2 people that can help with the communication. I think that's huge. I'm not saying that's why they're doing it, but it does help when you have 2 guys that know a defense like that and are used to being so vocal on the offensive line, getting people in order. I think that could be a big benefit, and maybe that's something they're looking at.
Mm-hmm. We did see a hamper to the shuffling, though, because unfortunately Andrew Millick, who has served as USC's second-team center, did go down with, I believe, a knee injury towards the later half of practice. He was helped off the field and did not return, so it doesn't look great for that. And then that ultimately affected Justin Dietich, because before Andrew Millick stepped in, he was USC's second-team center.
Yeah, credit to Millick. Millick has been huge in learning that center. He was recruited as an offensive tackle. He's listed as an offensive tackle, has more of an interior body type. But it was a little bit shocking when he first got to campus and we saw him practicing center, because I don't think that was in his repertoire. We thought that was in his repertoire. But he's been instrumental in helping the coaches, get a look and giving Justin Dietich a real look at the guard spot. Yeah. He doesn't have to worry about taking all those second-team center reps. He can focus on learning guard and perfecting that craft. So big blow to see him go down. We were right on top of that play. Looked like he was in a lot of pain. And again, we don't want to speculate on what it was. It did look like the knee they were looking at, and you hope it's not something long-term. And maybe because, Josh Fallow did get banged up early in the year, and it looked like it was serious, but he was able to come back. So you're hoping it's something like that. But we'll have to wait and see what the word is on Millick.
Mm-hmm. And you seemed positive about the right side of the offensive line. I thought overall, it felt like the run game was better today, and maybe we're overreading into things. But I thought partially because the running backs had a little bit of feistiness to them. They seemed like they were running a little extra hard today.
Yeah, they had a little extra pep in their step, if you will. That's a lame running back joke. I'm sorry. But they did seem to be running with that extra edge, mainly because they were making a lot of defenders miss. It was really hard to take down a USC running back today on first contact. Yeah. Look, they were either making miss, breaking through a tackle when they were going through a full tackle and not a thud period. So they were hard to bring down. Very impressive. I know the defensive players are probably getting their ankles taped a little bit because there was some skating out there. I'm just saying there was some skating out there from the defenders.
Spicy. I don't know if you can bring that on instant analysis here. But we did see a couple touchdowns from the running backs. We saw Vavai Malapea get a good run that got the offense fired up. What did you see on that play?
Yeah, I think the big thing was huge hole on the right side, up that new configuration. It was just wide open. I don't know if it was a misalignment. We've seen a couple of those in camp this year, but wide open. He was gone. Defense struggled to catch up to him. Isaiah Polamau had a chance to catch him very close at the end, did tackle him, but it was already at the 1 yard line. Touchdown, everyone celebrating. And then he had another one in an end zone period where he was going off the left side. They called it dead, but it looked like he got in. So big plays all around for the running backs. Keontae Ingram had some nice runs. Stephen Carr had some nice runs. Even Brandon Campbell made some guys miss. So all the running backs were getting into it today.
As you mentioned, Clay Helton's vocal cords, that was something that stood out today. He was very fired up, especially towards the end of practice. We even heard some F-bombs dropped. He was fired up, and USC's offense went into some up-tempo work, and it seemed like Helton was really fired up to have guys go max effort, jog off the field, and keep that tempo up.
I hope he's up in his office right now with some nice chamomile tea, something to soothe the voice, because he was really getting into it. It wasn't like he was fired up. He was like angry. Like he was like actually angry, maybe the angriest I've seen Coach Helton. But usually in practice we have to hear from the far side. Today we got a little bit closer because we're up top. The one that stood out is when the offense had just jogged up the field after a touchdown, and he was yelling at them like they had just got shut out, and he was like, "This is a family show, right?" You told me this is a family show, so I cannot curse. No. So I'm cleaning it up a little bit. But he was basically saying, you guys can score whenever the blank you want. Have that mentality. That's basically what his final message, or the one I heard. He was saying, have that attitude. And I think he's trying to get an attitude out of this offense, because the defense all spring has had this swagger, has had this, before they go out, they're flexing each other up, they're hyping they have this intensity. I think he's trying to bring that out of the offense, who really hasn't had that kind of identity. And today we saw a little bit of that, in that he was just trying to pull it out of them. That's what I felt. And then obviously he was really going hard with the tempo period.
Now, as far as the Wednesday practice goes, we did see some guys missing because of that. Probably class. We saw Raylan Goforth come late. We didn't see Drake Jackson in practice. So probably a class thing. We'll keep you updated there. But how did that impact the defense overall? Yeah,
it just looked like a lot of, same with the offensive line, a lot of mixing and matching. It reminded me of those first couple weeks of practice when a lot of guys were out with the COVID protocols. So you saw a lot of walk-ons get a lot of time, especially at the linebackers, because Tuasimi Nomura was there. Like you said, Raylan Goforth was not there. Giuliano Falonico came late. Bryce Matthews, a walk-on offensive linebacker, he got a lot of burn today, even though he came late as well. A lot of other names were out in terms of Dorian Hewitt was out, and Jaden Williams was not there. We did not see him play in the spring game. I believe it was a hamstring tweak is what Clay said. Gary Bryant also had the hamstring tweak. But we also saw Caleb Bullock move to cornerback, which he did in the spring game after Hewitt went down. So it looks like they're giving him a little bit more reps there, maybe get him a little more comfortable, because it seemed like they just threw him into a fire a little bit on Saturday. He's an athletic guy, so I don't doubt that he can play cornerback, but mainly a safety. So it looks like they're getting him a little bit of cross-training, because the depth right there goes up and forth, back and forth. I mean, you made the comment they look like an endangered species at times. That's your joke. Laughed at your own joke. That's great.
I was helping you out.
Sorry, yes. But yeah, the depth there is waning and waxing, so hopefully getting another guy there cross-trained, give him a little bit more flexibility, because the safety spot is a little bit more deeper than the cornerbacks right now.
Because right now the corners mainly are just Josh Jackson, Isaac Taylor-Stewart, and Chris Steele, and then you have kind of injured guys rotating in and out. What did you take away from Caleb Bullock as a corner?
Yeah, I mean, I think he had a little bit of a rough time Saturday in the spring game, but that was also because he was getting a very tough matchup in Drake London. He was matched up on London and got a lot. He also was the one in coverage on that beautiful Mike Jack, as you like to say, one-handed touchdown. So a little bit of a learning experience, but it looked like he was getting coached up a lot. He's so long, he can make a very interesting cornerback, but I think he's actually emerged as one of the best of that safety class that's coming right now. I think he's made the most plays in the spring, got the most reps late. So I think it's an interesting move to put him out there, but I kind of like the move, especially if you give him some more time and coaching from Dante Williams, who has shown to be a master in turning around or creating some of the best cornerbacks in the Pac-12. So I'm excited to see what that looks like in 2 weeks if they keep him there for the duration of camp and not maybe just this week.
Oh, we saw on Saturday the Jackson Dart to Mike Jack connection got fans fired up. Well, we saw that again in practice. I believe they connected for a touchdown, correct?
Yeah, a little bit of a. We can't give away too much of the formation, but it was a big play for Jackson Dart hitting a wide open. I feel like I can say wide open.
Yeah.
A wide open Michael Jackson, his roommate. So their connection is really tight. But it was a big play. Big win for the offense, and just more special passes from that young man, Jackson Dart.
Yep. Well, Chris, any final thoughts before we wrap it up? Like you said, it was a different. We saw different portions of practice. We didn't see any Trojan drill or one-on-one, so it was a little different in that sense. But I thought overall it was a spirited practice.
Yeah, I feel like Clay Helton. I'm losing my voice a little bit. I'm giving you a spirited instant analysis. I hope you remember this one. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like you said, a lot of special teams periods. I like the physicality that they showed in terms of blocking with the gunners and stuff. That was a fun little competitive period. Also, forgot to mention Parker Lewis returned today, the normal starting kicker. But it was interesting that they still made him do second team reps. So Coach Schneider was like, no, Alex Stadhouse has been our guy for this time, so he's going to take the first team reps. He's been here. So I thought that was an interesting little look. But I thought it was a great practice overall. Good confidence boost for the offense, considering there was a lot of turnovers on Saturday. I think it was a good bounce back for them. So excited to see what they do on Saturday using the momentum from this Wednesday practice.
Alrighty, that's going to wrap it up for USC's 10th practice of spring camp and Chris's first practice instant analysis. For Chris Treviño, I'm Keely Eure. For more, check out uscfootball.com.